Hi, everyone, and welcome to the PegEx Podcast. We cover a wide range of topics in these podcasts, including environmental issues, technology tips to help you grow your business, and tips to keep you out of trouble with the EPA, the DOT, OSHA, and others. My name is Michael Bryant. Today we're talking about EPA ID numbers. As hazardous waste experts, the four most common questions we get asked are, what the heck is an EPA ID number? And why do I need an EPA ID number? How do I get one? And is it okay nowadays to hug someone goodbye on the first date? We're going to answer the first three and refer you to legal regarding the hugging thing. That topic is way too toxic, even for a bunch of hazardous waste experts. So what exactly is an EPA ID number? It's simply a number that is assigned to you to ensure that any hazardous waste you generate can be tracked from cradle to grave. Except it isn't really assigned to you. Instead, you have to apply for it. More on that in a few minutes. Meanwhile, you might ask, what is meant by cradle to grave? In EPA speak, that means you're responsible for any and all hazardous waste you create from its point of generation to its ultimate disposal, including any treatment and storage that happens in between. Which brings us to question 2. Why do you need an EPA ID number? Short answer, because the EPA says you need one. Don't argue. Longer answer, the EPA requires that you document and report your activities to their regional office if you regularly generate, recycle, treat, store, or transport more than 220 pounds of hazardous waste per month, or a mere 1% of that, 2.2 pounds per month, if your hazardous waste is one of the quote-unquote acute variety, meaning that it's so toxic that it's fatal even in low doses. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to us. To facilitate such reporting, your EPA ID number permanently attaches your name to any and all loads of hazardous waste, allowing your frenemies at the EPA to keep track of each, just in case you break any of the gaggle of rules, accidentally or on purpose, and basically forever. You know, like from cradle to grave. This is why you have to make sure that your hazardous waste transporters, storage sites, and treatment facilities are properly vetted, have the right permits, and aren't one or another kind of local Yahoo, which can be a full-time job all by its lonesome, except that there's a national company that specializes in vetting waste management vendors on your behalf. That, of course, would be us, the friendly folks at PegEx. Call us today. But back to the topic at hand. You're going to need your EPA ID number for virtually any and all of your hazmat activities, including shipping, disposal, state and federal reporting, not to mention various other federal applications, probably some that haven't been invented yet. And here's an anomaly, we think anyway. If you move your operation to a new location, your EPA ID number doesn't go along for the ride. Instead, you'll need to file for a new one. Probably because you have nothing better to do, right? Of course. Meanwhile, onward to question 3. How do you get an EPA ID number? This should be easy, right? Well, we'll let you decide. To begin, your first step is to contact your state hazardous waste management agency, not the EPA. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? But if you can't get that done for some reason, then get in touch with the hazardous waste division of your EPA regional office. You can call or write. In some cases, you might be able to do things online. In any event, you'll be asking the state or federal authority for EPA Form 8700-12, also known as Notification of Hazardous Waste Activity. By the way, you can find convenient links to all of these sites and forms we talk about in this podcast in this description section below. Might be a good idea to bookmark some of these links. The nuances of what happens next might differ from state to state. Some use a different form, but you can get a handle on what to expect by visiting the EPA website and downloading this mouthful. Instructions and forms for hazardous waste generators, transporters, and treatment, storage, and disposal facilities to obtain an EPA identification number. Remember, you can find a link to this in our podcast description area. While you're there, you can download EPA Form 8700-12 and the federal instructions that go along with it. Oh, did we mention you need to classify your waste? One of the major tasks in completing EPA Form 8700-12 will be classifying your hazardous waste by its EPA Hazardous Waste Code. We wish we were kidding, but we're not. To help you with this, search for the EPA webpage titled Defining Hazardous Waste, Listed Characteristics, and Mixed Radiological Wastes. It's a great read. And by the way, remember that some folks, specific to certain states, might have different or additional codes. So what's the upshot? If you have a full-time job running your business, you undoubtedly have better things to do than learning how to apply for federal applications. And as in all matters concerning the EPA, it's always prudent to be forearmed with expert advice. And we have a lot of it to offer for free. Check out our website for pertinent blogs and podcasts, or even better, give us a call at 888-681-9616. That number is also in the information of this podcast. No operators are standing by, just a bunch of friendly hazardous waste experts. Thanks for listening. We hope you found this podcast useful. If you have an idea for a topic you'd like for us to cover, drop us a line at podcast@pegex.com. Thanks for listening.